Hi, everyone. How you doing?
Hi, Joe Banner here.
Yeah, I just realized I was doing myself.
You
I,
invoked yourself.
my right hand gets tired when I do myself.
Yes.
I'm just killing it. Welcome to Moohead Radio. I'm your host, Mr. Moohead, and also Bronk from England.
We're
And
from England.
this is the one. This is the first game of the season's right around the corner for the Cleveland Browns, and we are going to kind of talk about it and other things. Hello, Ron Leftman.
Are we?
And yeah. But
Are we?
I always start out with a few other interesting things. If you didn't see the
Really?
news, the New York Giants, that winning
The New
organization,
York Football Giants. Yeah.
yeah, maybe I'll do it like this: the New
New
York
York
Football
Football
Giants.
Giants.
Yeah, well,
You should
uh,
do it.
10% of them were sold to the Cook family, KOCH,
Oh, Coke.
for $1 billion.
Koch brothers. The Koch brothers.
But no, it's Cook is the way you pronounce it.
No, it's Coke. We call it Coke Metals, and they own a metals company in England. It's called Coke in England, so Koch.
Yeah, but there are lots of different cocks.
Yeah, exactly.
So at any rate, we'll call them the Koch family for you.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yeah, not to be confused with Ed Koch, the former mayor of New York City.
or
The,
the guy on, or Hugh Grant either on Mary Tyler Moore.
right. This is they bought 10% of the Giants for $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Now, wouldn't it be nice if you had that much money for a tax write-off? I mean, it's
That is
absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
that's exactly what it is.
And the reason that I mention this is that the NFL is, if you want, I said to myself,
Corrupt.
well, yeah, that too. And to make that much money, you've got to be crooked. I'm sorry.
Koch brothers, my God.
And the numbers are growing. I wanted to look up how many billionaires there are in America. And basically, it amounts to like 940 billionaires in the United States of America. And you want to know what the beautiful part of it is?
What? Tell me.
This is what you call the fairness doctrine. The trickle down theory that the wealthier get wealthier and it rises the tide for everybody. Black billionaires, 13.
Woo! Beyonce's one of them.
Tote that barge, lift that bale, you get a little drunk and you lands in jail. Yeah, so to me, it is remarkable. It is such a boys' club to begin with.
Yeah,
and
not a lot of women.
And it's the white billionaires club right now.
Yeah.
And the corruption doesn't seem to end. In LA, the Clippers for the NBA, Steve Ballmer, the owner of the team.
Tell that story. I read that one.
I mean, a very, very strange circumstance. Kawhi Leonard, they wanted to keep him, and boy, they went to every possible length that they could, including giving him $28 million under the table for a bankrupted company that Ballmer was involved in. It's a company called Aspiration.
Yeah.
It's now bankrupted. It was a green banking company in which Ballmer had invested.
They scammed him. It was some green, totally scammed him.
And out of nowhere, $28 million goes there. And in order to try to skirt the cap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And they thought the previous owner in the Clippers was bad news. Well, here we go. This is the new way of bending rules by the people who make the rules. What I wanted to tell you about the Koch family is that they have donated hundreds of millions of dollars to far right wing causes.
Oh,
And,
absolutely. They've done that
and,
for 40 years. The Heritage Foundation.
and
There's hundreds
they
of
have
them.
a bunch of foundations now.
Yeah.
And all of it, and they lied and called themselves libertarians until they finally came out and started doing the Sieg Heils.
Yeah,
And
they're
they,
con.
of course, they supported Trump. But again, they're not influencing, we use that word influencers,
Yeah.
they are
They are
the
the real
government.
thing. They are the thing.
They are the actual government. And these people are now buying into sports. And that's where we tie in. I don't want to get into too much in the way of politics.
Oh,
But,
just people read up about the Koch brothers. One of them died like 2 years ago, Charles. But
and I was happy to see that
yeah,
personally.
read as much as you can about them because they're your rulers.
Now, I get that there's a series of things that, and I just want to find where I am here because I got so many tabs up.
Yeah, no, I got the same problem. But
Yeah.
have a Fresca. Don't have a tab. My scholarship boy.
The corruption in sports now
Uh,
goes to ESPN, the partners of the great white billionaire clan,
yep.
as NFL Red Zone
Oh God, they've
has announced,
ruined Red Zone.
hey, that instantaneous thing? Well, we're not doing that anymore. It's commercials. That's right. You're paying for commercials.
You should see how people in England are up in arms about Red Zone being fucked over, because that's how we see it. Pay
I mean,
for it.
could you imagine if you were Scott Hansen and if you were Schefter, Adam Schefter? These whores work for these people.
Yeah,
And it's no big deal. It's just a tiny little fraction. And it's just, yeah, but the people's cards were already charged, you cocksuckers. And you
yeah,
got your money.
yeah,
And then you throw
yeah,
this right before the fucking season begins.
yeah.
And it's totally
Exactly.
dishonest business, but that's the way business is done today. And you want to know why it's done that way? They're convinced that people who watch the NFL Red Zone are gambling diseased people, and they have
They'll
no
do it
choice but
anyway.
to watch it.
Yeah,
And they can do whatever they
whatever
want
they
to do.
want. Yeah,
And that's the new muscle in America, is that no one's going to be able to make a big enough noise if they can't agree on anything. All right. So you have ESPN saying, hey, look, folks, it's not that bad. You have Adam Schefter saying, hey, look, man, it's not that bad. It's just if you narrow it down, I mean, it's still 7 hours, of football, but there will be, but the commercials will only be running on half the screen and, on and on and
well,
on.
what pissed off people here is that we've paid for DAZN. I paid my £169, just as much as DirecTV or whatever you guys got, but we paid for it, right? And then we get fucking American commercials that mean nothing to us. Like, let's shoot yourself up with Ozempic or whatever the latest fucking drug that they're going to show, or what. Like, it means nothing to us, but we'll still have to sit through and watch it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Pat saying, "Wait, what's the change with the red zone?"
Apparently, they're going to have a window running with Red Zone and then show adverts with audio. With the
Yeah.
audio of the advert.
So they're going to be breaking into the advertisements.
Yeah, right in the fourth quarter, like right with 1 minute ago, we have Dustin Hopkins lining up a field goal.
And
Do this,
the NFL is charging extra if you want to watch 4 games simultaneously. Now, how in the fuck can you watch 4 games simultaneously?
if you're betting on all 4 of them,
That's
you certainly
exactly
can.
right. You're a gambling diseased person, and you're
You're
going to
betting
lose
on all
all your
4.
fucking money anyway.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. If you got a 4-game ACA going, a 10-pound and win 500, yeah, you're going to be watching them.
Red Zone experimented with showing commercials last season. It wasn't popular, so they just drove it right up the asses of people. They don't care.
They
You're not
they
going to hurt them. They are untouchable, along with the Koch family and along with the other 948 billionaires in America,
and
not to
me and
mention
Jimmy.
the other ones around the world.
Oh
They're
God,
the
yeah,
only
we got
ones.
them.
They always get their way, and they always will. And the reason is you refuse to change your behavior. I'm not
Well,
paying.
we are responsible. All of us are. I mean, can you let me tell a story about England here very quickly? You know the Royal Mail and Post and the iconic Postman Pat cartoon and all that. You think of nothing more British than Royal Mail, right? You know what? It's owned by a Czechoslovakian billionaire now. They privatized it piece by piece, and now it's all owned by some fucking billionaire from Czechoslovakia.
Uh,
That's
you,
what happens.
Ron, no, that was the thing that came out first, and then
No,
with
that's not true.
the initial uproar is that it's going to be a portion of the screen.
Portion of the screen with audio of the advert.
Yes, and it doesn't really matter because they just
I'll
need
change it
more
anyway.
ways of sticking money in their pockets and also to drive this disease that
Yeah,
America. I mean, this is worse than COVID, folks.
yeah,
I mean, people are losing money at an unprecedented rate on these things,
yep,
and they're addicted, and they're going nuts. The easiest thing to do is the hardest thing for sick people to do, and that is to just stop. Just like, you know what I mean? You're hooked on cocaine. Just stop it. It's
yeah.
like,
Stop smoking. God damn
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. Um, so it's just
Oh,
another sign that if you are paying the $600 or whatever for Sunday
yeah.
ticket, if you're paying the additional $40 a month to watch four
Good
screens
Lord.
simultaneously,
Good
and then
Lord.
you're watching NFL Red Zone to see if you could get that next bet in based on a little bit of information that you're analyzing. You know what
Yeah, they
you
got a
are?
first down, so I'm going to bet on them now. Yep.
Do you remember in the stock market when the day trading was the big thing?
Yeah, about 30 years ago. Yeah, I remember that. Now you don't hear about that much anymore.
Well, why would you? Because everybody lost their patooties.
They got fucked.
Absolutely. They didn't know what they were doing, but they were hooked on doing it. And
Yep.
they couldn't just walk away when there was
No.
one, and the way these people talk, the art of the deal and all of this, they're all insider trading people.
Yep.
Trump, in his whole life, including everything that he inherited, was worth $2.4 billion. And now his Bitcoin is worth $5 billion. Well, bought and paid
Now
for.
it won't be worth that much much longer. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's some of the most disturbing stuff is that there isn't any real integrity in any
Well,
of this. And for me to be talking about, okay, what do I think's going to happen in the Browns game? I mean, tell them, Bronk, what you told me before the show. I think people should hear this.
about which thing did I tell you now? I can't. I'm losing my short term memory.
Oh,
Which
you were
one?
telling me about the over under.
Yes, yes. The Cowboys Eagles game was absolutely hilarious for those gamblers out there. The over was something like 47 and a half, and in the first half, 47 and a half points, right? So if you bet the over, those teams are going to score over 47. So the first half, it was like 24-20. So everybody thought, oh, right, the over is going to win. So people piled in on it even more. And obviously the odds keep going up. So they would pile it at over at 60 or, over 65 points or whatnot. And it turned out there were only 3 points were scored in the second half. And the original over actually lost.
Suckers!
So all these people in the third quarter say, "Oh yeah, they'll definitely get 60 points. There'll be 2 touchdowns." Still we're piling in, bet and play, and the people that made out on it are Caesars and BetMGM and the Entertain group here in England and all the people in China and yep, Gibraltar, Isle of Man, Latvia, Lithuania. God damn it, there's so many places
All this real time gambling has opened up so many
to
opportunities,
lose money. It's great. It's
and for them
fantastic.
to see, I mean, for them to be able, the people who are in charge of all of this, to be able to make these quick within the game moves. Now,
Yep.
if you were watching that game, the beginning, I didn't stay up to watch it when it was delayed. But if you looked at that game and you saw Jalen Carter spit on somebody for no goddamn reason,
Before even offensive play took place, this guy is like crippled on the sidelines with a broken knee that they showed, and then they're having this contretemps in the middle of the field, and it's just crazy.
yeah.
But if you were gambling on that, you would have been fuck me, you
Well,
fucking little.
that's the thing. I mean, isn't the first thing you think of, uh-oh.
I mean, look at the fucking Guardians that are under thing. Why don't somebody investigate fucking Jalen Carter for what he did? You
Why
know?
doesn't somebody investigate the New York Yankees hitting all these fucking home runs, and instead a goddamn Astro hits a ball off the left field line and they abscond with his bat? The umpires
Wow.
convene and they're investigating him.
Oh
How
no,
dare
that
you hit an off the wall double against the Yankees when they need to win? Please.
wow.
And you're telling me that there isn't a hierarchy amongst the 32 billionaires who own, or
31. Put
31,
in
I'm sorry,
31,
that,
please.
that own NFL
Yeah,
franchises. There is a pecking order in here. And
absolutely.
we'll get to Jimmy Haslam in just a minute. All right. Before I get into the whole Browns prognostication thing, you could be the greatest player in the world, but if you're chronically injured, you'll never be. And
You'll never amount to anything.
Caitlin Clark's out for the rest of the WNBA season,
Oh
and
wow.
she's been one injury after another.
Well, I
So,
haven't really followed her career to be honest, but I
well,
don't
I
know
mean,
about
it
her
has been
injuries.
laced with,
Injury.
and good for you, Browns fan, by the way. Fuck them. You can find other ways to watch the goddamn games without giving your hard earned money to billionaires. Good God Almighty. And they're
Oh,
going to
there was.
try to shut down all these broadcasts that
Uh,
people are watching illegally, so they can stuff more money in their pockets.
I'll
Fuck
tell you
them.
about.
Fuck them.
I'll tell you about one thing that got shut down. The BBC had an article about it. A For those of you that do bother with illegal streams, the one called Stream East has been shut down. It was a couple of guys in Egypt, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
they've been done. So if that's
Oh,
if
they're going to root them out.
they're gonna find
There's
them
no
all,
question they're going to root them out. I mean, because they want every nickel and
they want
dime.
every penny from you, mate.
And it's just terrible. And if you didn't hear, the Guardians rookie reliever who was doing well, Nick Enright, bye, he's injured.
But
So just another injury for the Guardians, and so it goes.
oh, you, you
Uh,
you got you got me on a roll here today, man. I'm looking at my email, and I signed up to the Cleveland Browns email thing. I don't know whether you are too, but if you open it up, the headline is Joe Flacco and Browns prepare for home opener versus Bengals, right?
right.
And nice photo of Joe Flacco. But if you scroll down to it, it has a little Bally Bet advert in it. Bet $10, get 50, and then they go, sign up with the code Bally Blitz. And this is on the team's own fucking email is telling you to gamble. Now you can't tell me that the integrity of the game is at stake here. When the email from the team directly from them trying to get you hyped for the game has a gambling advert right at the bottom of it.
Yeah. And then,
Bally Blitz. Use that code and
yeah, yeah,
get a boost
to
for your
get
losing.
bent over and something stuck up your rectum. $50. Whores get more than that. The all of the other part of things, and it was horrible, watching the beginning of the game between the spitting incident, which you can't tell me that somebody didn't tell him to do it. Sorry. I mean, if you've got
You're not
Class
that
A,
stupid.
if you've
Yeah,
got Class A and Ortiz
yeah.
on whatever,
It
you
was
know,
that they did.
the whole country saw this. There was no provocation, no reason. And
Yeah.
they made it clear that if one of the things that would get you instantly pitched would be if you spit at someone, he made sure he got pitched.
Right
And
in front of the fucking staff, the guy from the Cowboys with the water bottle was right there next to the referee. You know,
and you know something? I was thinking, last year of shutting this program down, but
correct.
I'll be on here until I fucking die because
We may both die on air.
nobody's going to tell the truth. Nobody's going to
No,
sit there and talk about sports, and they're going to dedicate portions to their show to the over under and all these little side things and fantasy football, all of that. And it's just another way of saying they have a gambling problem, and they're going to appeal to people who have, and I don't want drug addicts listening to my program. It's not like, hey, for all you people out there, a gram of cocaine, it just went down. Streetwise, man, it is going down. So this week, pick up on your
yeah,
cocaine.
get your ketamine right here,
Get your crack, right? It's
right
like,
here,
and
right
we'll
here
be
on our show.
broadcasting from Barberton, where you're going to be able to just pick it right up at the Moohead radio broadcast. Uh,
Well,
it's,
go
it's,
see our truck.
and meanwhile, they're carting the guy. I don't know if you read his lips. They showed him at the guy who hurt his knee on the first play.
Yeah, the fullback, the white guy.
Did we find out what happened to him? What was the actual
Oh,
diagnosis?
I saw the replay of it. It looked like his knee just. It has to be one of the ACL, MCL,
Yeah,
TCL, BCL,
it looked like an
PCL.
ACL to me.
Yeah, it
But
looked pretty fucked.
when they did the close up on him, he said, "What the fuck?" It's like the season didn't even begin, man. He was in shock.
And it was the first kickoff play of the new kickoff rules, which God knows what they are because I have no idea what the new rules are. So I think they changed where the ball starts if you kick it into the end zone or something. But
So while you're watching and gambling on the games, just understand that whatever's
you're gonna get
behind
fucked.
you don't have to have any compassion. You don't have to have a memory at all because you're gambling diseased. Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre.
Favre.
Well, Brett Favre talked about what's going on with him health wise,
Oh God.
and because he was diagnosed with Parkinson's syndrome. And everybody thinks of Parkinson's syndrome and they think of Michael J.
Muhammad,
Fox.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
That's what I think of.
yeah, but Michael J. Fox was one who really went public with it.
Yep. Yeah, and the Superman guy, I think, as well. But anyway.
And Jerry Lee Lewis when he
Yeah.
wrote A Whole Lot of Shaking Going On.
Yeah.
But
Ouch.
ouch. The whole thing about Parkinson's is that people, see somebody shaking, like Neil Diamond going, "We Caroline," but that's not the only thing. And Brett Favre,
Favre.
was explaining that he has like right-sided stiffness that he can't really mobilize himself well. And then the horrible thing that he said brought back bad memories for me personally. He's having trouble swallowing.
Ooh.
And that is just heartbreaking. At the end of my mother's Alzheimer's disease, she forgot how to swallow.
My
Forgot how to swallow.
mother-in-law got that going on too.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
horrible, horrible thing.
Right. Here are some famous celebrities with Parkinson's.
Yep.
Alan Alda, Robin Williams, Johnny Cash, Pope John II, Salvador Dali, Adolf Hitler, Vincent Price, Charles Schultz of Peanuts fame, Dave Jennings, NFL player.
Yep.
Um,
But more and more,
Neil
you're
Diamond.
seeing Parkinson's in football players along as a
Well, it's
prelude,
neurological. Yeah.
and it's a prelude to some of the other
To
CTE
death.
kinds of issues.
Yeah.
Uh, and there's nothing they can do about the swallowing thing. Nothing
Right.
they can do at all. So, oh, by the way, hello, Mr. Be Safe. How are you?
Be
Um,
safe.
so the game takes its toll on so many players, and here is an article, and we'll start talking this back half hour of the program all about the Browns and predictions and all the stuff that I promised you. You have to put up with my pontificating because I don't want to be like the other programs, and I don't care how many people tune out. I don't care.
Well,
Because you're never going to get gambling information from me. We pick games to guess at scores, and there's no science. And I hate to tell you all this, folks, but the only science there is in percentages and percentage wins and losses. And you're on the wrong side if you're gambling. Okay,
you always
the
are.
house wins. The house wins,
Yeah.
and the more bets that are placed, the more the house wins. So here's the question that's being asked. Has the Browns culture shifted? And you're not
Who's
going to believe
asking that?
this.
Who is asking that?
Let's see who Dan Labby from
Oh, Dan
Cleveland.com.
Labia. Yeah.
Yeah. This is ridiculous because the one person in the organization who's talking about this great culture change is Bubba Ventrone. We haven't seen a kick return for a touchdown.
It's Ice Cube McNeil,
It's
I think.
Joshua Cribbs.
Yeah, Josh Cribbs.
I mean,
Bless
come
him.
on.
Oh, and then that weird guy in preseason that had the funny name who was a homeless guy who lived in his car. The one guy that ran that kid, Gail Sheehy or whatever his name was.
So we're supposed to believe that the culture's shifted. And then another article. Can the Browns be watchable? Well, Terry Pluto, let me just poke your fucking eyes out and then they won't be watchable for you. God damn it. I am going to tell my Terry Pluto story about what he did, but I can't do it because of a promise I made to somebody. But God damn it, so help me God, you're going to find out why I hate this motherfucker for what he did. And it has nothing to do with his stupid sports takes, and it has nothing to do with his so-called religious beliefs. When I tell the story, you will all realize that he is a phony.
Wow.
Religiously, he's a phony. As a journalist, he's a phony. And I got the shit on him, and I'm going to spit it out. But can't do it now. Can't do it now because it involves somebody who I will never get involved in this program because I have too much respect for that person. So can the Browns be watchable? And then this. How last year's offensive philosophy sabotaged the Browns. And
let's kick Ken Dorsey some more. Why don't we?
And why they're determined to not repeat it. All right?
Oh, yeah, right.
All right. So all of these things kind of go hand in hand because the big hope, if you want to call it that, and Rich, yeah, Dino Hall.
Dino Hall.
Hey, Dino. Yeah, we had some of the smallest return people. Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Don't make fun of small people.
An MMA match between Dino and Ice Cube McNeil. That would have been really interesting. And we always get our kick returners from Mount Union College. It's always
Gettysburg. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Slippery Rock.
Slippery Rock. Yeah. So
the Citadel.
What was last year's offensive philosophy? And
I don't know.
I want to simplify this. I want to simplify this because I just looked up statistics, and stats don't lie. Okay,
no.
And I was looking, saying, well, what made the Browns so special in 2020 when Kevin Stefanski took over? Right.
Yeah.
What is your alma mater, Rich? Which one of those schools?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Slippery Rock.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, God. So uh, Baker Mayfield threw for 3,563 yards. Nick Chubb
Good
ran
year.
for
He had
1,067
a
yards.
fantastic year.
Jarvis Landry, 840
Mount
yards in
Union.
receptions. I mean, it was, we had a balanced offense.
We
Okay.
did.
Oh, Mount Union.
Mount Union.
Alliance, Ohio. I have nothing against Mount Union.
No.
They've had a great run there in football. Hasn't really translated into professional players, but it's. I like to think that they were winning national championships and putting, smart,
Scholar athletes.
yes, out into the.
Making doctors and lawyers and all that sort
I
of
wonder
stuff.
if there are any billionaires that came from Mount Union.
I would think there would be.
You never know. So, but looking at the team statistics, total passing yards of 3,701 yards, total rushing yards of 2,374. All right. Now, you if you go and move forward to what happened to the team in their 2023 season, we'll go every 2 years and all that.
Yeah.
And Joe Flacco at this point was the quarterback, and by the end of that year, and the first half, of course, was the Deshaun Watson disaster. But you look at these things; the total rushing yards for the season were down to 2,017,
Yep.
and the total passing yards, well, by golly, 4,011, more than Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Right, but in the end, it's like, so what exactly happened to the Cleveland Browns here? Looking at 2024, and you look at the total offensive yards, 5,114, but total rushing yards were down to 1,608.
Yep. Well, Nick Chubb was dead the past 2 years.
And Jameis Winston is quarterback in there. The total passing yards was 3,879, more than Baker Mayfield. All right.
Yep.
So it's not the passing yardage. They haven't been able to run the football. Now,
Correct.
why would they change the philosophy of that? Well, the first thing is you lose a guy like Bill Callahan, and it's like cutting one of your testicles off.
Yeah.
He ended up going with his son, and that's
Exactly. We knew this was going to happen last year, that the line was going to be absolute shit and get killed.
And we hired some guy, and and it was like he was supposed to be a guy who was taught everything by Bill Callahan.
Yeah, well, that doesn't work that way.
And we know for a fact that Kevin Stefanski did not want to abandon Stefanski ball, because everything we're looking at here, zone blocking, was abandoned, and everything went to hell in a handbasket. It's not hard to figure out how and why this happened, and why Kevin Stefanski saying, well, we're going back to that because we're going to be a zone blocking team. The problem is that these guys are 5 years older and 5 years more injured on the front line. So before I even get into it, I predict that this is what's going to happen in the game, you got to look at this honestly and say to yourself, what was the reason why the Browns really had a culture change? And it wasn't Stefanski. It wasn't Barry. Who wanted Deshaun Watson?
Dean Jimmy.
And who told them that they have to go into a deep snap, shotgun formation and throw the football around the field?
Dean Jimmy.
Yeah, that's right. And forced it down the throats. And like everything that he does, it ends up bad. Yep. He is an idiot. And also a billionaire. but he's an idiot.
They both are. The what I like to point out is that Dee and Jimmy each own 50% of the team. So they're, in my mind, they're equally responsible for all the shit that goes on. So regardless of how active one or the other may be in the day-to-day running of it, they're
Yeah.
both responsible.
So, so now Kevin Stefanski is saying, okay, we're going back to the drawing board. We're going to be but there's no Bill Callahan. Okay,
Yeah, we're fucked.
but not only that, we don't have Judkins, and not only that, we don't have Nick Chubb.
Yeah,
So, before you go in and gamble your last dollar away and your children go hungry,
yeah,
just remember that if you're looking at this from a statistical basis, the question for the Cleveland Browns is not whether they're going to win or lose one football game, but are they going to be able to run the ball from the line of scrimmage?
yeah,
Because they had bigger passing numbers in massive losing seasons
yeah.
than they did in their best season in 2020.
Well, there was a stat way back when that we all talked about, that when Baker only threw the ball like 25 times, the Browns won. When he ended up having to chuck it like 40, 45 times, they fucking got their ass handed to them.
Yep.
And I remember that quite vividly. I'm sure half the chat room probably remembers that too. So it
You
is
know,
what it is, man.
you don't have to look real deep.
Yeah,
I guess that's what I'm trying to express.
yeah,
The culture has been disrupted by Jimmy Haslam.
yeah,
And when he finally got a head coach who gave us a balanced team, it did better record wise.
yeah,
And and Stefanski has been trying to keep this thing. He's like a drunk guy on roller skates. He's trying to keep this thing going.
or you know,
But the greatest asset that the team had has grown old and crippled, and that's the offensive line.
yeah,
And of course, Nick Chubb.
yeah.
But even in 2020, he only ran for 1,067.
Yeah, because they
It
didn't
wasn't
give him
like
the
he was.
ball.
It
They didn't
wasn't.
trust him when he first came on the team. They didn't fucking trust Nick Chubb,
Yeah.
because
Well,
he was a young guy and they didn't think he was going to be as good as he was. So they didn't give. They gave him, like, he had games like where he'd have 10 carries and 120 yards. It was just nonsense. I
if
remember that vividly.
you can throw for 3,500 yards and rush the ball, and you have two running backs along with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb who can get the job done. Now, we don't have Judkins, so one of our draft picks, who was the higher of the picks, is in
Samson,
no man's
Watt,
land. Nobody knows if he's even dead or alive in a
yeah.
ditch somewhere. Nobody's hearing shit
Yeah, he
about
could
him.
be like Michael Jordan's dad or something.
And you can't tell me that isn't part of the Jimmy Haslam slap on the wrist because he drafted Shador. Believe me,
Yeah,
you don't fuck with these people. These people, they're going to get their way one way or the other, and it's really sad. But I look at the situation of the Cleveland Browns and I say, God, we wasted those years where we had that great offensive line,
yeah.
and
Sad.
and what we don't know about the Cleveland Browns at this point, we're hopeful that the defense, the defensive front line anyway, is going to be more diversified. But the problem is our back end, with the cornerbacks,
Oh my God.
safeties, and all that. It's mainly the safeties, but the cornerbacks are always injured. We don't have depth in those positions, and we're going to be susceptible to giving up big plays. Again, injuries have played such a big part. And how long will it be before Denzel Ward goes down?
For good.
I mean, how long is it going to take? And every year, and in preparation this week, Myles Garrett hurt his hip.
Yeah,
And
what's up with that? Is he going to play?
he's going to play, but when we fall behind, he's going to be limping. I've seen it. There's no culture change here.
No.
It's just, and can you blame the players for just taking the big money?
No, because I would do that.
I mean, it's there to
No,
be had, and they're playing the game, and they're going to end up with Alzheimer's disease anyway. So they might as well live it up while they can. And that means that if they pay you to spit in somebody, you do it.
yeah,
If you're a little bit dinged up, you sit down and you don't play.
yeah,
Uh, it's or your concussion lasts for 6 games, or
yeah. Oh, my knee, my ankle.
so what we're trying to prognosticate, the only thing I want to know is, do we have the capacity to run the football?
Yeah,
And the answer to the question is, if Pierre Strong's anywhere near the ball, no, because he
no,
doesn't know how to read
no,
the zone blocks.
no. He
And
doesn't know how to read. Period. I think.
Jerome Ford is a guy who he can get through the first hole that you open up, but he doesn't have the ability to make the right move. He just runs right into tackles.
Yeah,
And we don't know anything about Dylan Sampson. We don't know anything about him.
yeah. Jerome Ford has one big 50-yard run once a month.
Well, that's what he
That's it.
does. If he gets a big enough hole,
Once a month.
he's straight line fast. I'll
Yeah,
give him that. But
once a month he'll have a big 60-yard run.
the reason Nick Chubb was on a Hall of Fame career path,
He was fucking consistent. He was
and now
always good.
but he saw the field.
Yeah.
He was 1, 2 steps
Yeah,
ahead.
he was like Gary Kasparov as a running back.
That's right.
He
That's
saw
right.
the blocks before the blocks even fucking were blocks.
There were guys who were faster,
Yeah.
but nobody worked as hard. He was the hardest worker in the game. He was strong as an ox, and but his feet, that he had the ability to, he knew where the block was going to be thrown, and he moved in that direction before the block was completed so that he would go
He
through
was ready.
creases.
He was ready for he was ready. The game was slow for him. He's
Yeah.
like the only player that we could say that. Oh yeah, we don't have to worry about Jed Wills hovering around the quarterback lying on
Nobody
the
else
ground,
does either.
offering to pick him up with his hands. That was
Yeah.
Jed Wills' position, was lifting the quarterback up after he got sacked. You know?
So even if there are holes there to begin the season and the offensive line isn't carted off the field on Sunday, do we have running backs who are capable
I don't know, man.
of reading where the hole needs to be and where they need to run, or is it going to be east-west Jerome Ford? That becomes a problem. There isn't anybody picking the Browns to win this game except in Cleveland media. Uh, if you look at Pro Football Talk, I mean, it's
I think it's possible. I think it's possible, but even I'm not like, you know, I'm not. I don't really want to pick a winner of this game, but I will say this. I'll make it very quick, that whoever wins is going to win by 3 touchdowns. I think that one team or the other will get off to a fast start and just blow out the other team. And the reason why I say the Browns have a chance to do this is because they've done it before against the Bengals. They're playing in Cleveland, and they're also playing a weather game where it's not in the fucking 90s and where they suck. It's only going to be in the 60s or the 70s. And that's where Miles Garrett and all those people play best. When you get the weather up to 80, 90s, we always suck and we always lose those games at the beginning of the year.
and we're already getting our our fans in the chat room
So
picking
I'm
scores.
going to say, if you really really want me to make a prediction about betting, I would say go with the under, if it's like under 45 or whatever, because I think it'll be something like 31-10. I think whoever wins is going to win by a lot of touchdowns.
Well, here's again to me where when they say the war is in the trenches, this is going to be a classic example of
Exactly.
that.
You don't know whether Schlesinger and these new guys on the defensive line are actually going to kill Joe Burrow for once and for all. That really could happen. If Joe Burrow is dead by the first quarter, the Bengals are going to go 0 and fucking 17.
Yeah,
They have no team.
Rich is pointing out that the Bengals have
Exactly.
offensive
The
line
Browns
problems.
have a chance in this game. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win, but they
But
have a chance.
here's the two things about the poor offensive line is if the Browns defensive line is as balanced and deep as what we're being
Hype to
told,
believe. Yeah, hype
yes,
to believe.
then their lack of an offensive line will get more deteriorated as the game
Oh, they'll get
progresses
killed.
because they don't have depth.
They'll get killed.
And uh, uh, then the question comes down to Joe Burrow.
Correct.
And he's got his receivers. And the question is, are we going to bust coverages or are we going to be right up there on him? Is he going to have little time to throw? Is he going to try to force big plays
Yep.
and get sacked and fumble the ball?
Yep.
The Browns have to do a number of things to have a chance to win this football game.
Yep.
And by the way, Florio's pick, 31-17 Bengals. Phil Simms' pick is 27-24 Bengals. And, I can sit here and go through site after site.
It's
And
not gonna be a close game.
that's the only chance that the Browns have is if it's a close game. They
It's not
can't
going to
make
be.
up with a zone running, run first offense. They can't make up the big play capability that Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow put together.
Yeah, D. Higgins and all that shit.
That's right. We don't have that capability. And Joe Flacco will press if falling behind, and that's when mistakes get made.
Yep.
We have to control the tempo of the game, and that
Yep.
means we got to possess the ball and we've got to control the line of scrimmage and prevent big plays. Keep the game in the middle of the field and hold them to threes. Keep
Well,
the game close and try to pull off some plays.
I would say the Corey Bajorquez offense, where we keep playing the ball down to the 10-yard line and force the Bengals into making fucking crucial errors in their own part of the field and get short fields and win the game that way.
A lot of people are picking scores like 30-27. The Bengals.
No, no, it's no.
But the thing that's funny
Oh,
is the Bengals may not be. Let me be precise about this. The only thing that gives us a chance is their lack of an offensive line
yes.
and their moron of a coach.
Yes.
Those
He's
are the two.
terrible.
Bad coach. Zach
He
Taylor's
is
a
one of the
bad
worst
coach.
coaches in the NFL.
Bad coach, and he's squandering a young quarterback's career.
Yeah, he
And
is horrible.
and it doesn't take much for Burrow to go down after he's gone down a
If
number of times in his career already.
if Burrow went to a decent fucking team with a decent coach, he would be like Tom Brady. I have no doubts about that. So anyway,
Well, a lot of quick passes. We hope that Burrow throws because anything that keeps the clock moving, keeps the ball in play, and gives us an opportunity to have more possessions will eat up more clock. And that is important. And the question is, could you frustrate Burrow? And can the defense frustrate them to the point where maybe they overreact on defense trying to make a big play? We get somebody behind them. We know Flacco's got the arm and he's got the experience to find people who are open downfield. The big play possibility is always there with Flacco. We've learned that about him. The problem is when he tries to go to short game and he throws the out patterns, there might be somebody waiting there and not wearing a Browns uniform.
yeah.
But again, we have a couple of big plays that we can, and I don't mean like gadget plays or running reverses. I mean legitimate busted coverages by the defense or in must-run situations, crossing them up with play action. Flacco's very, very good at that, and getting somebody a step downfield. And I'm not saying that Isaiah Bond or anything like that is, I don't know that he's going to be able to get into the open field, but we have a few people who can run by people, especially if they're leaning the wrong way.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Bond's upside is Donovan Peoples-Jones. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Rich is doing his pop music thing.
Manic Monday.
Yeah,
Prince wrote that song.
yeah, he did, and he wasn't high when he did it, which is
No.
really pretty amazing. Yeah. If there's anyone to get in a shootout with, it's the Bengals. Well, can give up points. The thing is, you have to be able to pound them with the run. The only thing that's going to make this Brown season, and I wanted to finish the thought about Jimmy Haslam,
Oh God.
about the culture and how
The
everything
culture.
he's fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Uh, the the thing here is before the season even begins, they were pressing him. What is Kevin Stefanski's, is his tenure almost over? Is this the must do year for Kevin Stefanski? And he wouldn't answer directly. And
No.
they said, well, what does Kevin Stefanski have to do? And he goes, well, last year there were only 3 wins. It has to be better than 3, okay? And it's like, but you're the one who did that.
Yeah, it was all.
That wasn't Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski did not want that change in the offense.
No, he certainly did. He smirked every time it failed, basically.
And you could see
Yeah.
it wearing on him. It's like, if
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my job, let me lose it my own
My
way.
way, yeah. I want to do it my way.
Yeah, just crazy, just
Yeah.
crazy. And uh, ESPN's NFL experts,
Oh God. Yeah.
every one
Paid
of them,
expert.
Bengals, 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 all 7 of them, all the way across.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to sit here and say the Browns can win, but the Browns have a chance to win. But don't put your fucking cat on it.
No, well, that's just it. I don't think that I never say, hey, this is what's going to happen. I'm in show me mode. I
Yep.
want the Browns to win. I want to see if there is hope in reestablishing this zone running
Blocking
game.
game. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Remember when we had Alex Mack, we had a proper offensive line back then. Yeah. God.
Yeah. And Kurt, if Flacco gets hurt, then you're going to
Well,
become a dink and dunk team, and people are going to
yeah.
be blitzing Dylan Gabriel, and we're all going to be
Yeah,
sitting him
and
on his back.
our right tackle is going to be the one that gets killed.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we show that the offensive line and the blocking scheme is back to being something that we recognize.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm interested in seeing Samson run the football because I have no real interest in Jerome Ford and
No.
absolutely none in Pierre Strong.
No,
Is Pierre Strong even still with the team, or did he get
I can look.
sent away?
I think he's gone. I think did he have that concussion and then he got concussion and
He
that
gone.
killed him. Yeah.
He gone. Yeah. So
Not sure where he's at now.
and the whole Judkins thing is just puzzling that the NFL is still twiddling its thumbs.
Oh, they're waiting to see whether we have a decent team or not, and then if we do, then they'll fuck
No,
us.
I think that this is how they are fucking Haslam for not doing what he was told to do.
Haslam things, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to do that little Jimmy thing, and he was going to get Shador in the 5th round. Yeah, woo! I fooled everybody, and it's like, yeah, there is no fooling the man.
No.
And
the other thing is, it is a full moon with a lunar eclipse here in England while this game is going on. So that could, look at astrology if you want, if you're going to bet money on it.
as far as my prediction is concerned, not that it really matters.
No,
I don't think that anybody cares what I think. It being the first game of the season, I'm going to pick the Browns to win the way that they would have to win, and that's 24-17. And it's going to take some magical plays on the defensive side. We got to get turnovers, takeaways in our favor. And
Yep.
I want to start the season upbeat, but I want people to go in with their eyes wide open. I think it's a good thing that we're going back into the zone blocking scheme. I don't know that our players are capable of doing it like they did 5 years ago because they're old and they're hurt.
They're old. Yeah.
And it's going to be a real tough situation. Talking about old before I get off the air here, this is the other thing that makes me really pissed off at sports fans. The gambling thing is a disease, so I'm not going to dwell
Yeah.
on that. Uh, yeah,
It
Rudy,
is.
you're right. A Fannin is a guy who I'm interested in seeing what he can
Oh,
do in the middle of the field and see what he can get done.
I'll tell you what will absolutely make me fuming will be if we come onto the post game show or Monday show and we're talking about our fucking kicking and our special teams. If we fucking fuck up the special teams, I'll be really like, there's no excuse for that anymore. You
Well,
know?
the Browns haven't paid Judkins. There's no contract, and yes, he has
No.
a year of eligibility left. I don't know. That's for the courts to decide. But believe me, it wouldn't surprise me if they end up blowing the second round.
Yeah, if he went back in the fucking portal and went to North Carolina,
Right, right. That would
that
surprise
could
me.
happen.
But so I'm going to back off the gambling disease people and say you got to grow a spine. And if it's not a gambling disease that you have, you've got to be a little bit more critical in your thinking about what you choose to pay for. And this last story is a great example. So Floyd Mayweather Jr., who
Oh
is
God, is he still alive?
he's still alive. He's 48 years old.
Wow.
Last time he did anything, he knocked out Conor McGregor
Oh, a fucking he. Now there's an evil fucker if there
yeah,
ever was one.
2017. That was all the way back then, 8 years. Okay.
He- Yeah.
And it's he goes, this is a quote from Mayweather. I've been doing this for 30 years and there hasn't been a single fighter that can tarnish my legacy. You already know that if I'm going to do something, it's going to be big and it's going to be legendary.
Oh God.
And this exhibition will give the fans what they want.
I don't want anything from Floyd Mayweather. I was quite happy he beat the shit out of Conor McGregor.
Well, let me ask you this. What could Floyd Mayweather Jr. give the fans that they really want?
I don't know. Fight Mike Tyson. I don't
That's
know.
exactly right.
You're kidding.
Honest to God.
You're kidding.
I'm not making this up.
I was joking. I was seriously joking when I said
After
that.
the pitiful
No.
performance of Tyson losing
Come on,
to
this
Jake
should
Paul.
be illegal. That should not be.
Why are people watching
That
this?
should be illegal. That should not. In a sane society, that doesn't happen. What are we, like ancient Rome now? You know.
Yeah. I mean, and that's giving the fans what they want. Anybody who
I
pays to
wouldn't
see
want that.
anyone who pays to see Mike Tyson and his broken down
Floyd
body and his
and
fucked up brain going out there. I mean, you
Floyd
are
Mayweather.
no different than supporting like the gladiators. You're
You're a
heartless.
ghoul. You're a fucking ghoul. If you do
Yeah,
that.
and I got no respect for that. And have been a boxing fan, and I don't even watch the fights anymore because this is what has tarnished any potential credibility. And when you start getting guys who are,
No,
I mean,
I'm
Tyson
sorry.
Fury was not a champion.
No.
God damn it, that guy's a big clumsy ox.
He's a gypsy, basically.
He
Can I say
lays
that?
on people.
Yeah.
And then who is the guy who he had the trilogy fights with Deontay Wilder?
Oh God.
I mean, there's a guy who couldn't take a punch, and all he would do was wind up like an old school pitcher,
He
like
was
John
like the
Larson.
He was like the Jed Wills of boxing.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so this is what they're going to dish out. So
I was absolutely joking about that, Mike Tyson. I am sorry that is not a joke. I apologize.
no, that's just what it is.
I'm apologizing for that because I feel bad about that.
So 24-17, I'm picking the Browns to win, and it gives me a reason to watch. But when it starts going downhill, I'm more interested at halftime in the post game show. and seeing what happens to this.
Well, I just hope we don't have a fucking offensive lineman down in the first 5 minutes going, "Oh, my leg, my leg, my leg." Jack Conklin, looking at you, buddy. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Sean O'Grady. I know, Rich. I watched every one of those fights. And the funny thing was, it wasn't just the superstars, it was the guys who were on the Friday night fights and the Tuesday night fights on USA uh, that were. They had their own followings and their own
yeah.
popularity.
Did
And they were characters, and some of them were just tough as nails. They weren't great fighters, but man, they always gave
had a
full
lot of
effort,
heart, a lot of
and
heart.
that was always fun to watch.
Butterbean versus Danny Bonaducci. It's quite funny.
Yeah, yeah, it's a sad thing.
It's the
Uh,
Partridge Family.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Wilder was just something that uh,
Yeah, he was the Jed Wills, man. All this potential and never did a fucking thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
crazy. And to tell you the truth, I thought Sugar Ray Leonard was a coward. He ran away
he is
from
a
people,
coward. Yeah.
and he was a
Him
lousy
and,
human being.
I don't know who
He
was.
wasn't a father to his son. He was a cocaine addict. I don't have nothing good to say
I
about.
got I got a question for you. Who
Yeah.
is more of a coward or more despicable, Sugar Ray Leonard or Oscar De La Hoya?
Oh my God, De La Hoya. De La Hoya would quit in the middle of fights, man. Are you kidding me? I mean, but the Mexicans wouldn't claim him. Remember? I mean, against Chavez, it was like it was a Mexican against whatever the fuck De La
Fuck
Hoya
De La
is.
Hoya
Cow.
is, yeah. Yeah,
They,
he's from his own country, man.
well, because
Yeah,
Mexican fighters had to be rugged and tough. And if they were going to go down, then by golly, they would go down by the hammer, but they would be in there fighting their butt off
butts off, yeah.
until that happened. But no, Sugar Ray Leonard wasn't one of those guys. Uh, we'll never know the whole story about Roberto Duran quitting and that whole thing, and how he's going like this to doing fake windmill punches and raising his hands up in the air. It was like fuck him. And every fight he lost, and he lost to Tommy Hearns in the
Now
rematch.
Hearns was somebody
Hearns was
I had so much respect for him. Jesus
too
Christ.
much courage in a way.
Yeah.
Didn't have the legs to support the rest of his body. But yeah, in the first fight, Hearns was winning, and then but we know that Hearns faded late in fights. That was the way
Yeah.
that was. But in the second fight, he beat Leonard, and they gave Leonard a draw. And Leonard did not beat Marvin Hagler, an old Marvin Hagler. He waited forever before he fought Hagler and ran away like a little girl. Got no
Yeah.
fucking respect for that.
Yeah.
None. So at any rate, but yeah, now that is different. Get me talking about Danny Little Red Lopez. Oh yeah. And
Wow.
Salvador Sanchez. That was one of the greatest acts of sportsmanship I've ever seen. Salvador Sanchez, the Mexican fighter, who beat Danny Little Red Lopez, and I think they were fighting at 118 weight wise. It was a very smaller men,
That's what
and,
I would have fought at had I fought.
and maybe 122. I mean,
Yeah.
but Danny Little Red Lopez was a guy who literally came back from the dead in fights to come back and win. He was the most courageous guy, and he was on his butt a lot, but he got up and he'd win. But he couldn't beat Salvador Sanchez. Danny Little Red Lopez used to come into the ring wearing a headdress like a Native American.
Right. Right.
And when he lost to Salvador Sanchez and he knew he couldn't beat him, he handed the headdress over to
Right.
Salvador Sanchez. And it was a shame because less than 2 years later, Salvador Sanchez was dead in a car accident. So you never really know what's going to happen.
No, you
So,
don't.
all right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. It's going to be a halftime show and a post-game show on Sunday. I'll be there with you. So,
I'll be there too.
if you need somebody to hold on to after the first half, come to the halftime show. We'll talk it over. And
Yeah,
if you're
because it's like a
feeling-
therapy session, some of these programs,
Yep. And then if it goes the other way and we win, you'll
Then
have.
there'll only be happy Browns fans here.
That's right.
half of the audience will leave because they're expecting you to be angry, and you won't be angry. You'll be happy. I'll be happy, and there'll be a few other happy people, and it'll just be happy people here.
Yep.
Um,
Jubilation. So,
Jubilation.
everybody, thanks for tuning in. Go Browns. Let's hope
Go Browns. Let's
that
beat
my
their ass.
prediction, as crazy as it sounds, comes to pass. I'm behind the Browns, just not behind Jimmy Haslam.
No, I'm not behind Jimmy Haslam. Well, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again at halftime. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
Wow.